Welcome, everyone, to call number 9 of the 9Trannies teleseries with a happy, crazy lady named Sylvia Puentes. I'm so happy to be here with you all from Rome. We are we just finished day 2 of Right Voice for You facilitators. Tomorrow's 3, we skip a day, and then we start certified facilitators training. And it's so wild. I haven't shared this story out anywhere, but I'd like to share it with you. Hi, Monica. Nice to see you. And I hadn't shared it I guess in a while, maybe in some place sometime before, but about 12 years ago, maybe 11, 12 years ago, there was an energy of a class that was pulling me. I was new to Access pretty much. I had taken maybe my second certified facilitator training. And back then, there wasn't a lot of prereqs to many classes because there was very few people. And it was this class that I heard of. And I thought, wow, I think that's the 7-day. Well, and it was like, I got to go. And it was out here in Rome. And I had never traveled outside of the United States and Mexico. So it was, okay, I got to go. I got to go. And everybody's like, I was married at the time. My now ex-husband wasn't very happy with me choosing these things that seemed ridiculous. And one lady's all like, Sylvia, like, what if you don't have to go? Like, why don't you can go later? I was like, that's not the energy. The energy is now. And then they're like, it's not a 7-day. It's a certified facilitator training class. I was like, okay, it's still pulling me. Like, so I never, ever imagined or even considered being a facilitator. It was just that energy's pulling, that class is pulling. And perhaps I'm just getting right now as I'm sharing the story, there's something here with the 9 tranny of transformation that it's contributing to. So how many of you have the point of view that to change anything, you actually have to know what you'd like to change, rather than following the energy of what's contributing to the life and the living that you're asking for, that you don't even know you're asking for? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all 9 shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. So just to continue with the story a bit, so when I found out it was a certified facilitator, it's like, it didn't matter. The energy was still there. It had nothing to do with what kind of class it was. What I didn't know cognitively is how much that choice would change my future. So I came out to Rome, not having traveled a whole lot. I learned a lot. I actually played with the list. It's like note to self. And for everything I didn't know about traveling, or things that I forgot to pack, or things about Rome, all sorts of things that by the end of the trip, I think I was note to self number 89, of all the things. But I was willing to play with, I didn't know that you don't wear those kind of shoes in Europe. No pointy heels in Europe, by the way, they're not fun. And so being here again, it's like, oh, I've come to Rome several times since. I've now traveled the world a couple times over. And I'm like, I could say that wasn't my target, but there is an energy of what my target has been. So what is your target that you haven't acknowledged has been a target for you for a long, long time? Possibly since a very, very young age. What has been your target? So as we step into this 9 tranny and looking at, update, no Spanish translation live. Okay, thank you. Can someone put up the 9 trannies transformation? Thank you. So transformation is the ability to change anything from what it is into something different. So again, how many of you think you need to know what something is going to change into it before you actually choose the change? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Wow, there's a little more energy there than, I don't know, than I imagined. So Have you guys noticed, either in your own life or with people around you, that people actually don't desire change? They really do not. They say they do. They may put a little pinky toe in the water to test it out. But really, truly, this is part of something that many of you may need to acknowledge that you haven't acknowledged. And it's your level of courage to actually choose and have change in your life. So everywhere you've been holding back any of the transformation that you can be, have, and choose, because no one else around you is willing to choose, have, and be that the way you can be it, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And it's such an interesting energy because there's like these tears behind my eyes that are starting to show up. And it's like, how many of us hold back what's available? Perhaps because of the people you think you'll lose and let go of. Or is it your desire for so many more people to choose that change that aren't choosing it, that it actually makes you sad? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you all destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. It's so interesting. I've shared about my son in a couple different moments in this series, but he's 24. He's not a young kid. He works with Gary and Dane, and I always say that I'm terrified for him. He's up in the front line with some two powerful, incredible beings. And just recently, as intense as things have been for him, the other day something showed up with this flight, and he's all, I'm going to add that to my miracle list. I'm all, wow, okay. And then I just spoke to him right before this call, and he's in California right now for a few days, and he's all, I'm just sitting in the sun, soaking it up, reading Return to the Gentleman's Club. I'm all, oh, trying not to make it a big deal. And yet I remind myself to be the space. He will choose what he chooses, and he will receive what he receives. And it's not right and it's not wrong. So that space of allowance that allows you to receive what's available, it's like, where have you lost that space of allowance for you? So how many of you are judging you for what you haven't transformed, what you haven't changed the way you thought it should be changed? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And I see there's already 2 questions, so great. Just a little more here before I jump into the questions. The other piece, I've been listening to some class recordings, and gosh, what is this energy? I am so moved to tears, but they're not sadness. It's something else. So if I cry, I cry. We'll see. So I've been listening to these clearings, and I catch myself, like this morning I woke up, and if you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of Harry Styles, and I'll be going to his concert in less than 15 days. But so I listened to his music. I really enjoy it. It has this uplifting. And then, so I played him first this morning, and then I played my Miraculous Morning with Dane. And then this afternoon, I was listening to Gary's incredible class that he had in Venice, the unwillingness to create what will change the world. It was a little longer of a title, but something of that sort. And then he made a clearing loop for that class, which he doesn't do very often. But it's also this reminder that if we're asking for change, are we actually doing the work? Like I know there's an energy in a class, in the energy that we all open up together. And then there's a potency and change available if you're willing to listen to the clearings. Some of them make no sense and have your mind disappear. Others you may hear, but the willingness to have the courage to clear the energetic blocks to allow you to become aware of and to have a choice in an area that you didn't have before. So with all that said, what do you be, know, perceive, and receive about transformation that you refuse to be, know, perceive, and receive? That if you allowed yourself to be, know, perceive, and receive, would allow you to transform anything upon request with total ease. And everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And all the big fours, that is all the PRs, all the need of reactive reality, all the need of response, all the response systems, and the AI, is it activators? If someone can put that here in the chat.
Actualizers.
Actualizers, thank you. Activators, I'm looking for transformers, no. But if we can put that in the chat for everybody to have, that would be great. So all the big fours that keep you from being, having, choosing to be all the 9 trannies you truly be, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. And I see your question, Joanne, and I'll get to that. That moves us to transmigration. Okay. Beautiful. Cool. All right. Who was first? Was that you, Ponam? Hello.
Hi, Sylvia. You got me to tears today. I'm gonna play it. You know, today's big day, right at the time when the big force came out, and I've been using the clearings. There's so much funk that is coming out in my life. Today, I had to cancel my ticket to Rome for CF training. Yeah, and I had to make a choice and be there online when this is my first facilitator training after 3 years, when I could have been there. But it's a choice that I had to make. And
Okay,
when you
I'm going to stop you there real quick. Let me just, you start to notice this, perhaps you start to notice this energy. And what you're saying is, I had to make this choice. So the moment a choice is not just a choice and it's I had to, how much is that the need of reactive realities?
I got it the moment I said it, yes.
So energetic, so that's the gift of beginning to kind of, I would say, almost feel as you're speaking and where the crunch is, because something's off. It's so all the big fours that you have associated to your choice, and then where you feel you have to explain, defend, or give reason for your choice rather than I just chose this. Because your NORS, your need of reactive reality, will always be to justify your choice.
Yes.
So everything that is and everything that brings up, yep, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah, because I was getting into that whirlpool of a reactive reality where I said, oh my God, I'm giving it up because I need to be with him and hold him in that space.
Exactly.
And it was like a justification coming,
Yep.
because it was, and it's a conscious choice
Cool.
that I made.
So if we're going to actually transform the way we've been functioning, one, if we keep running the big fours, it's going to change. It will change. And you might be so uncomfortable because it's so different. But another like step even before that change showing up where you're like, what happened? Before that is to catch yourself in this moment and stop. Notice the story and then just, you know what? Never mind. I chose to do it online, period. I wonder what that will create, period. Not right, not wrong, not why, not because. I chose to do it online. Cool. And have no point of view and have total allowance for it.
That allowance. Because when you spoke about the 7-day and it turned out to be a CF, you know, 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, David was speaking about right riches for you becoming a specialty class. And I chose it then. I made a choice. Okay, I am in here because this is where that is me. And today, when I got cancelled my ticket, I got so much into the wrongness of me that I have created all this crap around me so that I can't reach for the right reaches. And in the evening, when I cancelled my Etihad ticket at the last minute, oh fuck, I I was actually getting into a question, am I potent enough to change things here so that I can buy a new ticket and reach there next weekend?
Okay. So so is that a question or is that more of a doubt?
Doubt.
Yeah.
It's a doubt because now I'm getting into the wrongness that I couldn't create what I desire to create. And
Okay.
why am I creating all this shit around me? It's so much of a wrongness of me, you know what I mean?
Right. So how
And
much is
a lot of
going,
reaction to it.
so how much is going into the wrongness of you part of the Noors?
Totally.
Yeah. So everything that is right there and everywhere you've been using the wrongness of you as your biggest Noors to continue to validate your PRs. Well, you destroy and then create all that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pan, pack, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. But this is an interesting energy because you almost lose the story, the drama, and you're like, well, then if nothing's a big deal and I don't have to do anything and I don't reason justification for doing it. So if I don't choose it, I don't choose it. If I choose it, I choose it. Then what the fuck? Then why live? So everything that is and everywhere, do you notice like now all that energy that was up for you is like, oh, I didn't choose it. Do I do it now? And last minute, can I pull it off? It's like, that's that sense of going to the emergencies to choose the 9 trannies. What if that's old? What if we don't have to go there anymore? You don't have to wait for the emergencies. You don't have to prove that you can choose anything. You just know you can. And you're not right or wrong for choosing it. You're not good or bad for choosing it.
There's more to this. Can we dive a little deeper? Because
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff happening inside.
So let me ask you this. So right now you're not coming to Rome. You're going to be online. Okay. Are you actually willing to receive from your choice? Or are you going to judge yourself through these 5 days of certified facilitator training and not receive jack shit? So all the big fours that you have to continue to separate from what you could be receiving and being gifted and gifting, will you now destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. We do this crazy shit to separate from what we can receive when we start to judge ourselves by the wrongness we can be.
What's showing up in my world is, am I resisting being there?
So what's that question going to give you?
It's
Why go there if you've already chosen not to be here? What's a different question you could be asking that would create something greater? You've already chosen not to be here. Okay, could you last minute try to, but what is that? Do you see the, like,
incongruency.
so if you're not coming at this moment live, you're going to be online. So what's a different question you could be asking?
What else is possible now?
What's another question you could be asking? Okay, notice where it's easier to go, oh my God, am I like, what am I refusing? But it's all from the wrongness of your choice and the wrongness of you. And 2 questions I know you know that seem so basic and so maybe, I don't know, down from the, anyways, is what's right about this I'm not getting? And I know for many of you, using that question, being that question, sounds like you're dismissing the wrongness to see what's wrong with you, so you won't actually ever know. But no, what's right about this, you're not getting. What's right about you, you're not getting. And notice how uncomfortable it is to even be in that. How can I possibly be with those questions if there's something wrong here? I should be live in Rome. Is that true? Or no?
I can receive as much from the class online or even not being in the class energetically.
And maybe you can receive live different than online, but it doesn't make one greater than the other.
Yeah.
Even going, I can receive as much online as I can live is another point of view. And I love it. Actually, Simona gifted you a question. I didn't tell you until now because I didn't want you to go to it too quickly. What can you receive online that you might miss being there in person? Great. So what's the gift of being online that I'm missing? So how can I use this to my advantage?
Yes.
But notice the moment we go to a question, how all the other stuff you had before are irrelevant. So how many of you are using your creative energies to go into the trauma of a choice that keeps you from actually receiving from your choice and being in question to create greater with your choice? So everything that is and everything that brings up for all of you, well, you're just trying to create it all. Right and wrong, bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. Now, is there more to uncover there? Perhaps. But I would say that the first step is not to go into the rabbit hole of judgment or justification, because those are not going to empower you and they're not going to allow you to receive more. So is there more awareness of your choice, what you chose, what, perhaps, yeah. And this is where you are right now. If it wasn't right or wrong, what else could you receive? What else could you choose? There's people that are not renewing their CF license. What gift is that? It's like, again, at the base, it's like, we're not wrong for anything. That is the part that will stick us from choosing and having infinite choices. So sorry, nice try. I could have gone into the wrongness of you and pat backed you for how wrong you are.
No,
How unconscious of you not to be live in Rome.
Very, very consciously made yesterday. It was a conscious choice. It was coming from.
Then celebrate it.
But yes, today I got into this whole mess around.
Let me ask you this one. So truth, does it belong to you?
No.
Are you sure though? It could be all yours.
No.
Are you sure?
No. Whenever I'm buying it as mine, I revoke the send.
I'm sure you're not aware of other people choosing that class, not coming to the class. It's too expensive to be in Rome right now. Yeah, so. All right, beautiful lady. I'm going to go to the next one. You're still not wrong.
Can I ask you one more thing, please?
All right.
I have a capacity with things, and I have a capacity with finding things which I misplace. I lost a bracelet, which was very dear to me. I'm not even weighing it in terms of money. It probably is what I earn in 3 years. It's gone, and I know it's gone.
Are you guys trying to prove that you have translocation capacities? That's it. So truth, is it gone?
From my arm, it just vanished.
So
and it's
what
gone
other
earlier and come back to me. And this time, what am I trying? What am I proving to myself?
But notice the question. Where are you coming with that question? Are you coming from the wrongness of you or truly asking for awareness?
You know what? It was as if when it went, it was no point of view. Okay, it's gone. It'll come back. It doesn't come back. It doesn't matter. I'll order another one sometime. It's coming from a place where I'm trying to. It's an energy I'm working against myself, where I'm trying to prove I can't get it because I'm not feeling important enough to get it.
Okay, let me ask you this. What if you use this to your advantage? Now, notice the twist of this. What could you have disappear that you'd like to disappear?
Me.
This is where we don't, like, oh, well, fuck, if I can make things disappear with ease, where can I use this to my advantage? Okay, I don't like that person, have them disappear. Your neighbor, the pesky cat in the neighborhood, which I might use. But you start to use it to your advantage. Okay, you have a capacity. Where are you using it? Or are you making it wrong for the things you have disappeared rather than like, all right, I can make that disappear. What else could I make disappear? Well, the 5 kilos I have, can I make those disappear? But no, let's make you wrong for what you're sabotaging yourself first.
Oh, majorly, this week has been totally self-sabotage.
Well, and are you having any fun with it? Nope. Oh, we got to have way more fun of the silly, insane things that we choose. Like, all right, you obviously have a lot of time on your hands.
It's so funny about me, and Dane's noticed this. I claim, own, and acknowledge my potency, my power. And then I say, oh shit, I can't have it. And I go back to being a
Right there for all of us to remember. If things like that are coming up and all the big fours with that, puck and pod, puck and pod, puck and pod. All the big fours, puck and pod, puck and pod, puck and pod. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to think about it, resolve it. It's just all of the big fours with that. Puck and pod, pun, pun. There's that sense like being on the, what's the word? There's a fancy word, on the precipice or on the, who has better English than me? Everybody, but on that leading edge of what's available as we're clearing these big fours. It's like, there's been reference to the matrix that we've created as our reality. It's like you're like reaching your hand out to something different and being pulled back and all of that. The bleeding edge. It was in the chat. But at this moment, it's like, acknowledge things are going to come up. But it's like, all right, how much attention are you giving to that? Or are you just going to begin pack all the big fours? I'm not letting that pull me down anymore. Not. Am I perfect? No. Am I always happy? Maybe not the way people think. Okay. It's not relevant. Do I, get pissy sometimes? Yeah. Like, okay. And now what? And now what? And now what? New choice, new space, new choice, new space.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, next. Marike. Did I say that right? Marike.
Mareike.
Marike.
I know. It's a tough name for an English tongue. Hey, I kind of like wanted to pick up what you said in the beginning because it's like, and it's probably also addressing what Poonan said before. I am pretty much confused about this whole transformation thing in a way that how do I really know what can I when am I being in transformation? You said in the beginning that there is many people don't like change. Many people just put their toe into the water and nothing else. And then they say it's transformation, and at the same time I'm always wondering, I mean, I think I've been through quite a bit of transformation, but at the same time I'm like, well, sometimes I still feel like I'm just it's like I moved the furniture a bit.
Does it feel like you've put your underwears inside out and didn't change to new clean ones?
somehow just, like changing the furniture or moving them a bit, but not really being in transformation. So how can I tell when transformation is really taking place? That's actually puzzling me a lot.
So what if you asked? And have any of you actually really been taught or have seen anyone that actually chooses transformation? You know, the gift of seeing Access grow and change has been so incredible, and to see the way Gary functions, and at different moments, you know, he's fired people on a dime. He doesn't wait for transition or anything. It's like, bye, ciao, right? Or oh, I remember one, like there was a class, I think we were less than a week away from the class. There was a choice of possibilities, and he changed it to a global foundation or a foundation class, like on the spot. And we're like, these are people that had flights that were taking that class for prereqs. And he said, nope, foundation required now with everything that's come up. And it was just like, okay, so there's been this like muscle and the willingness to change and not have to justify your change, and just going, willing to lose people, willing to lose money, people leave Access, whatever it was, right? But when you know that something's going to get created that's bigger, that courage to go and change, wow, right? And I get maybe that we not all may have that capacity to have that level of chaos. Exactly. It was the chaos and order conversation, Simone. That changed a whole lot in Access. But the willingness to have that chaos and that change and that unpredictable future, few of us are willing to have. So if we didn't judge ourselves for the amount of change we're willing to receive and choose, what could we acknowledge?
That's a good question. Thank you.
Yeah. So what could you acknowledge? What have you changed? Have you guys all acknowledged the change you've chosen? If it wasn't right or wrong, if it wasn't about little or big.
I just feel that, or I sense that whenever people are talking about transformation, it's kind of like overwhelming for me in a way that I immediately go to question myself whether I am willing to do so, or whether to be that, or whether to just go ahead.
So how many of you use the tool of destroying and uncreating, whether it's your relationship, your business, or you, every day? Some few courageous ones. I caught myself, you know, I did it in my relationship. I destroyed and uncreated. It's like, hey, let's destroy and uncreate our relationship. What they didn't do is give me the warning sign that says, if you destroy and uncreate, you will lose all the connection points that are based on thoughts, feelings, emotions, and it's left blank. The gift of that is that you get to create something different. But if you don't know that, you're left with the blank that has us believe there's nothing there. I fucked up, or it's not worth it anymore. It's like, imagine if you woke up, this is the gift of that movie, The 51st Dates. I just saw it again recently, and I'm all, how beautiful. That was a great example of creating your relationship, because it starts every day as if it doesn't exist. And you have to look at what you're going to create to have it be something, you know, whether it was the video she watched to try to see what her life has been up until that point. But it's like, you know, when I got to that blank space, I was like, oh, nope, it's over then. Nothing here. And I didn't choose to create it. Now I get what a gift that was. But I'm noticing now with my business, I'm like, ooh, do I really want to destroy and uncreate that? So then I catch myself going, oh, what have I made right here that I'm not willing to let go of and lose? Because transformation it's the ability to change anything from what it is into something different. So that's why it's that feeling sometimes. I was like, well, I'll just put the sofa here. I'll move this lamp here. I may add a flower or a plant. Okay, it looks a little different. But to actually go, And then maybe you add some of those pieces again, maybe not. That
All right.
takes courage.
So destroying and uncreating could be a way to go onto this adventure of transformation a bit further into.
So how many points of views do you all have about destroying and uncreating that keeps you from truly destroying and uncreating? Your points of views, your thoughts, your all of that keeps you tethered to this reality. Not as a wrongness, but just as the limitation that keeps you from going beyond it. So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. You know, even our clearing statement, you know, will you destroy and uncreate it? It's like, you know, the willingness to be honest, like, oh, I don't know if I want to destroy and uncreate that, like, maybe that much. You know, it's like, it's when you can be brutally honest with you and go, no, not this one, Sylvia. I'm not going to destroy and uncreate it. Nope. It's okay. You're being honest with you. No, I'm not. I don't know what I would be if I truly let that go. Not now. When out of control and out of definition clearing statement came, I was like, yeah. And then I was going to run it. I'm all, no, actually, no, no. I'd be lying if I said I was going to run that one. Both Gary and Dane at different times. So have you run being out of control, out of definition? I'm all, every now and then. Because that I felt took some like cojones. You're going to run getting, you know, out of definition, out of limitation. I mean, someone put the clearing in the chat, out of form, structure, and significance, out of control. What? I'm already crazy as it is. Now you run that one. It's like,
Yeah, I got your point.
so I wasn't.
Yeah, it's like, you know, as I still consider myself as a rather newbie to Access, even though I'm practicing since 2 years now, and I'm still feeling like scratching the surface. And the more I experiment with the destroying and uncreating thing, the more I actually get afraid.
Well, what if we'll always be newbies? What if you always saw yourself as a newbie? What if like it really was like, all right, I actually now have memorized the clearing statement. Sometimes it slips and I forget a word or two. Okay. But what if we were always newbies? And it truly was like, wow, here's some potent tools. Am I going to pock and pod today? What would I like to ask for? So all the big fours about being a newbie or not, or the judgment of what you changed and haven't changed, that may not all be yours, by the way. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. For me, in the midst of all this transformation and all these clearings and the change that we say we'd like, for me, my point of view with Access is to actually getting to more of a space of kindness with you. More of the space of, yeah, I like me and I know I'm not perfect. More of the space of allowance, like, okay, today I stayed in bed an extra hour. All right, today I, you know, watch Harry Styles videos and, you know, was lost in that for another hour or whatever. But okay, and I'm still not wrong. So now what would I like to choose? If I was concluding my body, what would I choose now? Oh, wow. Is there something else I'd like to choose? Is there something else I'd like to choose? The mere question, is there something else, from the space of kindness and allowance, is a beautiful invitation to transformation that you are having when you ask that question.
Oh yes, wow, that moves me a lot. Thank you.
So how many of you are not acknowledging that space of transformation with every question you ask? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pun, pack, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. That space.
Yeah, that feels a whole lot different than in the beginning. It's like I'm just expanded out now.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. This call that Gary did in Venice, if anybody has the link to that, I think it might be on the shop now. He said he was going to make it twice as the price in the shop, which I love him for that. And it just showed up in such a different way, the willingness to acknowledge the gift of us and how we all have this unique difference, not greater, not less, but the willingness to receive you in that way is such a gift to the world. You know, Simone is in the right voice for you training, and that's been a big part of the conversation as well. Like this space of really getting the gift of you. You know, we have so many facilitators around the world that facilitate Right Voice for You, and it's the incredible tools, but it's also your unique way of being that invites people to these tools and this specialty. So how many, okay, so all the big fours that you guys are, all the big fours that you are using to keep you from receiving the gift of you that would allow you to be, have, and choose the 9 trannies. Way more. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good and bad, pan, pack, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Cool. Anything else? Yeah. Cool. And if you're here, you know, let me see if I have it. Marike. Thank you, Simone. My phonics instructor. You know what? The fact that you're here and you're on live almost in every call. Your camera is open almost in every call. You're present, engaged, and asking questions. So have you acknowledged the gift that you've been on this series?
Not yet. I still feel like I'm a newbie.
And that it's not enough.
Yes.
So everything that is and everything that brings up, we just try and create it all.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pan, pack, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And what if for all of us, there will always be more? Always. You'll always know there's more. You know, part of the gift of you. You'll always know there's more and that there's more available for you. So when you look at transformation, it's like, gosh, I could have changed so much more, greater, further, faster, you know, and it's just like, all right, but this is what I chose today. So I wonder what would change if you acknowledged, yeah, what your presence has contributed to the series.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the big fours around. Thank you, Simone. All right. So Simone, in case you guys don't know, she was hired to be on here to make sure that I would have part of a brain. No, I'm just kidding. She's always got my back. Thank you, Simone. All right, Patricia.
Hi, Silvia.
Hello.
Wow, all the conversation makes me smile instead of that sadness, tears about transformation, change, and that. And really, these series are like this space for me is like pulling, like, yeah, it's really uncomfortable. I said true. This is the series that I am more uncomfortable, and in the same time, I remind me that phrase that, are you willing to go anyway? And it's a yes, and it's a yes, and it's a yes. So that space, that blank space for me in this moment is really, I start like knowing more in my own universe, like, oh, even each new day or each night, or when I am aware, is I am in a blank space. I use, as Latina, to have feelings, emotions as reference points. And right now it's like I don't have that. And that makes me happy. So my question is, with change, with transformation, we are inviting everything to support or to play with that new space. And for me right now, that is like, I know more of that. And sometimes I catch myself like, oh, you are a dreamer, that's impossible, and blah, blah, blah. And then I go, no, it's true. It's like more and more I am sensing that is available more.
So when you talk about that blank space, and then you become aware that, wow, everything's available to contribute. So what's the other element there?
Like for me, the element is that is magic. And it's like, I always believe in magic, but there's the belief is not the I am part, or I am an element, and one more element of that, like that separation.
So are you one more element of that, or something even greater?
Oh, great. And that is, no, I can be greater. Yeah.
It's like,
that
yes.
age.
So there is so much available, right? Beyond what we conceive, or even try to describe, or all of that. But this part of transformation also requires your request.
Oh.
So what are you asking for? What would you like?
And right now, like with this call, brings me a lot of acknowledgement that when I use 9Trannies, when I use for someone else, like for a different people, family, person, companies, whatever, in whatever, yeah. But right now, while I am more aware of that, and I am really stepping to play in my own universe, and like 3 weeks ago, I changed my routine, like boom, another universe, and I am really right now in chaos. Everybody in my family is worried about what are you going to do, and I know what I am to do. What is the plan? I don't have a plan. I know, I will be okay. Yeah. And if not, I will sell tamales in the skin, in the corner of my.
Leave me alone. I'm gonna go find a rich man to marry.
So
can you pay for my flight? I think I will find him in Houston during the 9Trannies.
Yeah. And then you are going to stop to travel. No, I am going to travel more because that's for them. But for me, yes. I'm choosing that. I chose that. I asked for that. And I am that available.
Right. So are you trying to give them more than they can actually receive or care to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willing that they will change something. Ah.
So what could you say to them that will give them what they want to hear, so they'll give you space for you to choose and have what you'd like?
And yeah, okay, yeah. And with that space is like, sometimes you don't stop yourself, Sylvia, and it's like, I am choosing this just for choice, as you said in the first conversation, with no why, with no, okay, I choose this, and then I choose that, and then I choose that, and then, and it's like everybody is, you are chaotic, you are whatever, and I start like, I don't care, I will choose this, I will choose that, and I will choose that. And then my question is, for some moments, just start like, I am crazy, and that's make you happy and more happy. Like that crazy of creation, like
Yes.
moving. I don't know if I speak English. I don't know if I am.
Let me see, because there's something you're asking there that has me. So there are moments where there's choices that are presented, and I catch myself not actually choosing, but reacting. That I'm like, now have the words to that, like, oh, this is a reaction and it's actually not a choice. And still not judging myself for it. It's like, oh, interesting. Okay, this is all a reaction. It's like, I've actually been in the question now with my business, my life. It's like, has this all just been a reaction? And that awareness will now put up a whole different choice of like, oh, right, well, what is actually true choice then outside of reaction? And one of the things that I'm getting more and more is this willingness to ask. So many of you have participated in Dane's ESBs, yes? And when he, if he had the 30 days ESB, 30 days, 30 days, and for all those 30 days, every day, it was like, if you could have anything, what would you like to have? If you could get anything out of this, and you're like, okay, first day this, second day this, you get to day, 28, you're like, I don't know. Or if you did it more, day 55, and you're like, fuck, now what do I ask for? But it's like this muscle of asking, and I'll invite us, and I'm going to include myself. You guys are willing, our last call is 7 days from now. What if in these next 7 days, however you choose to do it, whether it's on your phone, a journal, but every day you ask, and if you could do it when you start your day, what would you like to ask for? Anything, anything, anything. But it's this ongoing muscle. Wow, I'd really like to receive a nice smile from a young man, or, someone to buy me dinner, or I'd like to go out on a date. I mean, have it be whatever, right? But what, would you like to change someone's reality by a mere touch? Like, you get to ask, wow, today I'd like to explore, what is transformation for me? Universe, show me. But the thing is, we're not asking. We're so quick to wake up in reaction mode, either to someone in our bed, or the things we have to do, or the judgments that pop up in our heads, that we're actually not in creation. We're not in choice. Wow. And I'm saying it not like I have it figured out, but I'm noticing myself more and more. It's like, I was in California recently, and yes, my day turned out to be beautiful, but I was telling my team, what I don't always share is that moment I'm in bed that might be like, I could stay in bed all day. No one would care. I could work from bed. I could, and it's like, is that really what I'd like to choose? Not from a wrongness. It's like, all right, I have a level of freedom that it's like, all right, where would I like to go? And I chose to, find a place out in Hillsburg to go I was going to do some work, but, I can go anywhere as long as I have good Wi-Fi. And the place I was going to go, I didn't. And I found this other place that had reopened, and it was this cozy, beautiful little spot. It was like my whole body was happy. They had fresh flowers, like, wildflowers everywhere. I'm like, oh, but that's a level of choice and freedom that I have created as my reality.
And so then you start transforming your reality and transforming everything.
The transformation occurred the moment I was aware that I was in reaction, or that I felt like, oh, like there's nothing. And then I chose something different. That is the transformation. You know, Gary says it jokingly, like, oh, well, chose to get out of bed. Like, that's your first thing. Transformation. Hey, change. All right, now what? So where
Wow.
we all made transformation this big grandiose thing, we're not seeing, we're changing all the time. And that 10-second increment, choosing, you know, in 10-second increments, that is practicing with transformations. Like, oh, here, nope, this, change.
So what I am getting with the conversation is that when we play and be the 9 trainees, is require a level of presence
Yeah.
in that moment, in each
What
moment.
would you like to ask for?
Yeah.
That story, when Gary talks about when Simone witnessed Dane was taking that step onto the street, a car was coming and Simone witnessed it. Dane all of a sudden was back further and the car was back further. She's like, whoa, what happened? So Gary had a request in his universe. This isn't happening. And he created that change.
So I request to the universe. That's.
So let me ask you, and it's interesting because I started the
Yeah.
call and I didn't know how this would all tie in. But I started with the story and I said, how many of you are actually asking for, like, you have already this ask as an infinite being. There's already a request in your being that you were not acknowledging is there. What is that?
Yeah.
How do I request a room tonight for 2 days in Rome? Well, I don't know if it's a how, it's that you can. So
So
I'm
what's
sorry.
the difference between ask and request? I am getting like,
Well,
for
for
me,
me,
it's like, it's more easy to ask. Okay, universe, I will ask.
and what's the difference for you with request?
I am, I don't, it's
If
like,
someone can look those up, when you look up the definition of ask and the definition of request, for me, I have and I've shared it before, but with the weather, the climate, I just have this this playfulness with it and this running joke, especially with my sister Cindy. You know, she was driving me to the airport one time and it had been storming. And it was clear skies driving to San Francisco. And I remember her going, I'm like, Cindy, it's clear skies. She's all, well, duh, I'm driving you to the airport. Like, of course. And, you know, coming to Rome, I had looked at the weather and it was raining every day. And then it was like, oh, should I tell everybody? I know it's raining, but I'm coming and I'm arriving at this time. Like it will be sunny. So it's kind of like the playful request because I desire the planet and the weather to have whatever it knows will create greater. So I'm not demanding that it be a certain way for me, but I'm willing to request and play. Like, hey, if we can work it out, and you know, I land about this time, I'll be walking in the streets this time. Can you just, you know, give it a little break? And it, as crazy as it sounds, it does. Like today after lunch, I had a beautiful lunch with some friends, and on the way back, I could see the clouds, and it's like, and it's this, not even out loud, but it's just like, oh, hold on a bit. But at the same time, if it rained, I had my fancy rain boots on, I would have been fine. You know, my thank you is that not these who gave me these beautiful high heel rainbow boots. So it was like I wanted to jump in a puddle, but you know, if I really wanted to jump in the puddle, guess what? It would have rained because they're out. It's like truly knowing that the universe is willing to give me what I asked for. So when I'm in bed those early mornings and I find myself in a thought, oh, I am going to create that. I will create that. I know I will create that if I give it a lot of attention. So what would I like to ask for? What would I like to choose? What's the energy that I'd like to add to my life? We are creating our reality with every thought and every choice. So where are you putting your attention? So for me, the difference is that request, it's more, oh, hold on. Someone wrote in the chat, request is a much more formal and polite word than ask.
And for me, while you were like playing with the weather, for me was like there is more a big element of magic. Like I will ask for this universe and I will receive if the universe gives it. And I don't expect any result. Whatever it is, I will receive it.
So how many of you were judged or were judged or made wrong for asking for what you'd like since a very young age? Yeah. It's like you get everything you want, or like you're so spoiled. It's like, I remember one time I did say to Gary, it's like, oh, that was a big judgment I had. Oh, Sylvia, you're such a spoiled brat. And Gary's all, do you know really what it was? I'm all, no, a wrongness? He's all, no. He's all, you were willing to receive than most. It's available for everyone. And the people that aren't willing to receive will call you spoiled.
That element, receiving. Yeah.
So that's the home play.
Yeah.
Ask, and then notice if you're truly willing to receive. If this was the last day you had, what would you ask for? You could have anything and ask for anything. No right or wrong, not big, small, just any ask.
Yeah. 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 Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. What would it be like if we actually started to ask truly and explored more what it is to truly choose outside of reaction?
Yeah.
So keep packing all the big fours.
Yeah.
Yep. And we'll see what shows up. But you also got to acknowledge what you have chosen, what has shown up. And for you, Patricia, I know it's been big. And when it gets uncomfortable, is this what I've been asking for? Showing up in a way I never expected.
It's a big yes. It's a big yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So welcome. Simone, my hired assistant for the 9Trannies teleseries.
I just thought, like, let's throw the brains together and create magic. Wow. I'm really curious. What can we all transform as this group today, right now? Like, yeah.
Well, and yes, and what if we invite all of us to acknowledge what we have transformed by choosing this teleseries?
That as well. Like, and I'm just looking at what are the possibilities, like choice to go to the problem side of things or to go to the possibilities into the magic. And I would like really to enter more like, hey, what else is there that's there that we have chosen, that we have created? That's, yeah. And there was another thing.
Wait, hold on. What if you had a request so big that other people would join you? because even the way you asked it, you're still asking all of us as if we're all asking for change.
But that's I'm not getting. Aren't we all asked for? Like, that's not compute for me.
Okay, so let's look at Gary as an example. Is he asking for a level of change, or is he asked to create something that very few could wrap their minds around? And is he still willing to have it? I mean, Elugar is one great example. What he saw possible, not everybody, including Dane, could really get that at the beginning. And I'm so grateful that Dane shares that, because many people had doubts, right? But Gary was still really willing to have it and be patient. So my question to you, it's like, what would you like to transform? But what would you like to see possible? What would you like to choose? What would you like to create?
There is so much and so less words. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so part of this home play for this week is going to be allow yourself to bring some words to it, because some of us allow it to be so energetic that we're not willing to ask. And that was the other class that Gary had, where it was creating the life you think you can't have, or something like that.
I was on
In
class,
that
yeah.
one, there was a lady who was like, well, I don't know what it is. Like, it's energetic. And he lasered her hard, because when we're actually not willing to ask, we're letting others be the default to what we will have.
So
So
I have that class, I'm re-listening to it, and it's like, and then I look at my list with the 6 to 8 things, and like, but most of them I'm being that already. Like this, like it's not an ask, I be that. But what is the new request? Is like,
so play with that. What is your new request?
so one of the things I know I would like to see on the planet is that everything is changing so much that you never have to look on an ingredients list, because everything that's out there is pro body. Like, it's just, there's no shit out there anymore. It might be far in the future, but that's something.
Okay, now with that new ask, notice what you just said with that other list you had of those 6 or 8 things. You're like, I'm already being that. That was from an ask of what you're already being. Now, if you were to continue to create a new list, you might not be being that now, but what would it be like for you to be that and notice that 6 months from now, a year from now? It's like, oh shit, I'm being that now. But this is the willingness and the courage to transform so much that you don't recognize yourself.
And I have a sense like I'm in such a change. There's not really anything solid anymore. So if people ask me how you're being, like, how are you being, like something, it's not thanks translator, that's funny. I just saw Xavier like translating into German what I'm doing with my hands. Yeah.
So then, so what if now you get to play? So yes, we're on transformation for this call, but what if that opens up? Now you know, okay, I can transform anything. So what would I like to ask for?
And I also see like where we're not acknowledging what we're transforming. And sometimes people give you a feedback, like us touching a body is like changing universes, even if it's not solid, it's just in so many ways. Like it's really like you touch and it's like, like a atom bomb of change, but it's so normal.
And that's available with your touch. Now, whether everyone can receive that is their choice. Yeah. So if that doesn't change what you have available.
Exactly. And what I also like, the bodies transform all the time. Like there are cells dying, newborn, no point of view. It's just an organic thing. Like, and yeah, like bodies transforming all the time from having a life. Yeah.
Here's a question for all of you. So with what you're saying, is there something in your life you'd like to change that's not changing? Okay, so now be with that. What is it? So now ask, are you judging that? Are you judging that it hasn't changed? Okay. Or are you aware that others are judging that it hasn't changed?
Both.
Okay. So pock and pot all that, everything that is, and everywhere you're not acknowledging how much you are aware of that energy with that specific thing and how it lives in this reality.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something with your body, if it's something with your finances, if it's something in your relationship, how much does that live as such a reality in this reality? Does that make sense? Okay, so everything that is and everything that brings up, will you destroy and create it all? Right and
Yeah.
wrong, bad, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So if you could ask for anything to be different with that, what would be your ask? Okay, if you went to a blank, ask yourself again, okay, anything. There's no right or wrong answer. It's your relationship. What is the request? What would you like? Wow, I'd like there to be more tenderness today.
For me, came like more receiving, like really letting people in.
Yeah. If it's something with your body, wow, I would really love to have the space of more flexibility in my body today. Okay. If it's finances, wow, I'd really like to have the joy of every single cent that I have in my wallet, in my account, the gratitude for that, and play with it, receive it. Okay. But notice already the transformation from what you'd like to change from the wrongness and the judgment that you're aware of to clearing that and now going into like, what would I like it to be like?
And that's also that, I guess this reality tells you things can only change if there's death involved. Like to change tracks or to have change, things need to die. The body need to die, the business need to die, whatever, you know, like, and then we are adjusting to death instead of possibilities, or like there's something with
do you know how many
transformation can only
people
occur through death, something like this.
yes
Yeah.
Thank you, Simone, because you know how many people choose death or choose a terminal illness to actually create the change they're asking for. That's why it's like, oh wow, what are you dying to get out of? What are you dying to change?
Yeah.
That's, yeah. So if any of you are dying to change something, like, okay, that's a choice. It's not wrong. It's like, really, really, it's not wrong. Really. And yet,
And it's also not the only way. Like,
but very few people care to know that. Because to actually change outside of death and destruction would mean that you'd have to be willing to choose to let go of someone, something. It's so funny. I got it. I was talking about earlier about like, oh, are you only, turning your panties inside out? Today I put a pair of panties that are falling off. And today I was like, wow, am I really willing to throw them away? But it's like, oh, I haven't yet, but I will. I'll have to let my roommate know, hey, if you see panties in the garbage, they were just done. Goodbye. But how many things are we not willing to let go of?
totally. And there I see that it's not even my point of view, it's my mom. She was hoarding so much.
Mm.
And I guess I'm still mimicking her behaviors. Yeah. And she chose to die to change. Like with her death, I like, wow, so many people go to that road because they don't know there is a different possibility. And like, what else can we choose to give people choice? Like to make them aware there is choice. You don't have to die to have something different.
So what if we don't have to make anyone aware of that? What if we just get to choose it and be the living proof of it?
Mm. Yeah, and I guess it's what Gary says, like, are you willing to let the things, like he's willing to change even the good things. He's not like attached to good or bad. He's just choose, change, choose all the time.
And, I heard him having just in this last recording, heard it in a different way, but he does have asks. He's not sharing all our asks, but right now there's an ask. Right now he's exploring about having a living body of 3,000 years. I'm all, wow. Like not just 100 or 200, it's 3,000. You're like, wow. Then you're like going, okay, what else is available? So he's exploring that, and different things will ping him, and he'll receive from everyone and everything to have more awareness about what that would take. So that's why it's like, oh, well, I was asking for a coffee and a date. Not right or wrong, but oh, I could ask for a living body of 3,000 years. What?
Yeah, that changes perspective completely. Like if you know you have this body for 3,000 years, you would make different choices with the planet.
Yes.
So I totally get that. I heard my parents say like, yeah, why would I choose that? I'm like close, like they were old and like they plan their death kind of between 70 and 80, I would say. Why would I even make an effort for something different? Like, wow, that was just how different their world is to mine.
This is the living that, we're talking about living well. Recently, it's come up in a couple Access conversations. But I know that I sometimes see people, I saw this lady, I think she was like 90 something, but spunky, dancing, alive and happy. I'm all, oh, that's available. Wow. Cool. Note to self. I see Gary, I was watching him on the video recording when he was in Venice. He's 80 and he's sitting there looking good. Like, I'm like, wow, that's available. What if we each get to be that living proof of what's possible? Like people, like someone came up to me today and they're like, something about jet lag. They're like, but that's not real in your world. I'm all, no, it's not. And yet, so what do you each be out in the world that people can't comprehend, but you're being a living of that? When you don't go to drama, when you go to allowance, when you're in joy, when you're in, what is it for you? What is it that you be on the planet that's an invitation to a possibility that seems so unreal for people?
That's so funny. That must be also something around age. Because like for me, from the beginning, like Gary looks old. No, he just pretends to be like, that's a mask. I know he's not. Like, and then I go, why? What am I acknowledging what he's capable of that he might not even have access? Like,
well, yeah. And keep asking, like, what is that? And the moment I met Gary, it was like, what is that? Because he was willing to be so many different things. And I love it. Circles all, what tranny was today? I forgot. Transformation. Yes, transformation. Change, the ability to change anything to something different.
Yeah,
That's
like,
amazing. Yep.
What gets in all of us, that's total obvious from the outside that the person itself might not even,
It's
consider.
interesting right now, just kind of looking at this energy again of transformation. It's like, again, if you just take even an hour in your day and start to notice how many things you do change. How many of you pick up on a thought and all of a sudden you're in this heaviness of a thought and you're like, truth, does that belong to me? No, gone. Energy changes. That's transformation. Hello. Done. Energy's different.
Or you cannot
right?
remember what you were about to say because it's already changed. And yeah.
And then the question here in the chat, can I change things that are going on in states? For example, with visa departments, are you asking for anything to change? What would you like to change?
Flip the molecule 180 degrees, like flip the polarity, no?
So yes, let's do that exercise. This is one that Dane talked about years ago, but it's not often shared. Gary also mentioned a different angle to it when he said he realized he is that one molecule that will change things. He's willing to be that one molecule that will change anything, right? Yeah. So play with it, but the willingness, like if you have anything going on with your body, this is a great one. And it's that willingness to be aware of your body, but also aware of your being, that exercise where you expand and expand and expand outside your body, being aware of everything and your body, and then turn around and look at your body. And now ask, what's the one molecule you can change or turn 180 degrees to change whatever's going on? Okay, ask if there's another molecule. Yep. And rotate that one 180 degrees. And then keep going until like, okay, that's it. And then just notice if something changes there.
I just recently got like, before, and I was like changing the molecule, I had it like spinning. But like, no, it's just 180 degrees to flip the polarity. Like, wow, that's even totally different. Like both create something different, but like that change of polarity would really, I guess it's really more effortless. Like it's not require it's one molecule you flip that changes everything that's ordered to that polarity. Is just, you know? Yeah.
Yes. And it's interesting because when I first heard this tool, I shared it with my son, and he was young, very young, had come home with an intense headache, which he didn't usually complain of things like that. And I so wanted to fix things, right? And I was like, okay, space. And then I'm like, here's a cold towel. Because I think I had a client that I was seeing, and I said, and if you want something different, let me know. And I was ready to walk out the room. And he said, oh, I'll have something different. So I gave him this exercise, and I'm like, okay. So I explained it to him, and I left the room. And as I went to go work with the client, he comes out and he's all, Mom, this really works. Like it's gone. He goes, and then I tried it something with my stomach and it's gone. So he was so excited. It's like giving a kid a magic wand. So he goes to school, and his close friend was sick all the time. And he's all, dude, I have this incredible thing. And the response of his friends was that then what will I use to get out of school? So he was using his illnesses or complications, whatever it was, to get out of school. But this is the part, like how many of us are using the problems we have for a certain reason, and we don't realize you can pretend, lie, fake it, whatever. That doesn't allow us to truly have the transformation and choose the transformation, because then we wouldn't have the reason and justification for the reactions we're having in our lives.
But how cool and smart a friend. He knows what he's creating. It's not an accident. It's not, it's nothing.
Like,
it's not a victim, no problem. It's just like, this is my way of getting out.
yeah,
Amazing.
like that. Exactly.
Wow. Wow, there's so much unraveling. I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So again, that muscle of asking, what would I like to ask for? You have a week, only a week. No, just kidding.
You know what? And also like to ask for me and not for everyone. Like I'm so always going with everyone and this
is what you get to play. So notice, oh, I'd like to ask that. Okay, great. Nothing wrong with that. What would I like to ask here? You get to be that living well, whether anybody else chooses it. Are you willing to have it, whether anybody else has it?
Today I'm asking for Simone.
What about
Simone Zucker? Because Ale asking to me to put the memes. So how can I do it? My English is not so good to do it. Simone Zucker, please. and she started to put the memes, and thank you, Simone, in the group. So wow, it's so easy. She has my back too.
That's always like, if you desire anything of me, just put a question in the universe, I will respond. If you ask me to send a letter, you might wait forever.
Yes, it's amazing. And after you said that she has your back, I already put in the chat. Thank you, Simone.
Oh, I didn't see. Thank you so much. Wow.
And this is a great example. Thank you, Luti, because this is how it works. You haven't asked. People hear, and someone like Simone, who always likes to contribute, she'll hear it and she'll deliver without even knowing she's delivering to an ask that was asked by someone she knows. But that, what if it's that easy and the universe is like, okay, no one's asking today. Maybe I'll take a nap. All right. Like, oh, there's an ask. Here you go. How many different ways can you receive it today? That easy. Exactly.
There was like, is it Jim Carrey? They had, he had a speech and like, yeah, and he's asking the universe so much, like the universe will not have time for your ask because he's asking so much all the time. He was just poking the students of like, hey, make the universe busy, but you need to ask. It's not happening without you asking. You like, yeah.
That's, if you guys haven't heard Jim Carrey's, I don't know where, if you find it, put it in our chat, but he talks about that before he became famous, he was on the hill. I don't know if it was LA, and he just started to ask and asked what he'd like to have as his life, basically. And to see what he created is like, yep. So what did you ask 10 years ago that is now showing up, perhaps in a way you've never acknowledged? And is it time for a bigger ask? Is it time for new asks? And anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive the transformation you truly be, will you all destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds, and all the big fours that keep you from being the transformation, acknowledging to the transformation you be, will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. I love it. Serpil, would you like to open your mic and add this last piece?
Thank you.
Hi, yes, it's so cool. I was listening to the call, I was walking, and yeah, and all the topics were on in this class. I was in the sauna today, and I have met a woman. I didn't met her before, and she was the first time in this sauna. And we have spoken about telepathy, transformation, and about like awareness, and it was so generative and creative. And yeah, we will meet, and I'm so I have shut down this capacity or this ability to create things, and I can shut it down that I have created things, situations, and I have chosen that. And it's the 9 Trannies capacities. I have all, sometimes I'm writing also in the group, and now it's coming back. And what else is possible? Really, when I was first so new to access, I was always searching for that, like not just for what else is possible or how does it get even better, because I have always known there's better and more, but this 9 Trannies are like the
So can I ask you,
yeah,
were you searching for 9 trannies, or were you searching to have more of you?
I have goosebumps now. More of,
Yeah.
I got a call. Okay,
so that I get is one of the big gifts of 9 trannies, that it will give you more of the space of you, because it is a space of you.
I with this series, and I'm live on it because I have purchased a call what was happening before, and I realized that I was always the 9 trannies, but never acknowledged it. And now I'm so happy with my body, with my creations. I have lost 20 kilos. Every day I'm activating the transmogrification on my body, and also today in the sauna for my breast and for my stomach and for my ass and my legs. And it's so cool. It's so amazing. And I love my body so much. Now I'm looking to my feet, my legs, my body, and I'm just so happy for every cell of my body. And
And
this is,
that will contribute to having way more in your body contributing to you. And how beautiful, because this is another example of asking, using these capacities to your advantage, like actually using them. It's like, oh,
yeah,
well, how else can I use, transformation, transmogrification? Yes, 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 yes. So
yeah.
thank
And this is the call today, transformation. Yeah. And yeah, and I'm also so grateful for Simone Zucker, because I was on a call with her, and we had a session with her, and she said in the call, so I was receiving from home the trees and the flowers and everything, but it was just a tree for me, or just a flower, or just the grass. And she asked me one question: when I would not define it as a tree or as a flower, what could it be, or what else could I receive? Or yeah, this is also something I would like to.
Zucker is contributing to something greater in the world. What?
Yeah,
She's
I love to be on her calls too. Yeah. So, and it's more. Yeah, I'm receiving more.
And the gift of you, and this is all of us, the gift of us receiving from someone else is a gift. Like you
Yeah.
receiving the series, you receiving from Simone, that's a gift. We don't often realize what a gift it is to be received, to receive. That's a simultaneity of gifting and receiving that contributes
Yeah.
to much greater.
Yeah,
So
true.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Will we have another series
We will.
after that? Okay.
Yes, we have actually the dates of it already. My team
Ah,
couldn't wait. I
okay.
was like, well, and because the other thing that came up, Gary, Dane, and Simone have a 9 trannies class coming up. And it's like, hey, let's get that out in the world too, because I'm excited for that class and everything that I know many of us have contributed by being on these series. I know it's contributed to something greater there. So yeah, we have it scheduled to start in November. No, December. We'll share the dates, but yeah, I don't know if it's
Okay.
up on the website yet, but there will be another series. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm also registered for the 9 trannies with Gary
Awesome.
Douglas, and yeah, that is something I cannot
Yes.
miss.
Yes. And Simone Zucker just said that there are pops being created for the 9 trannies for Gary and Dane. So if you guys want to get a group together wherever you're at,
Or you
that
can
would
create one like as the bars facilitator. You can also, like, if you have the prereqs, you can be a pop host. Like, so many people don't know it. I was just putting that possibility.
Yeah, I always think there's no one else here in my area that can choose or will choose it, or yeah,
Where
will
do you
be on
live?
my pop.
Where do you live?
I'm living in Bavaria in Germany,
Okay. Hey,
near to Nuremberg. Yeah.
where can you make it so irresistible for people to fly out to be in your pop?
Okay. Yeah, I'm choosing it. So
And what would you like to ask for? Like, hey, it'd be great to have 10 people at my house. So, an even number to trade, like, again, could be one of your asks this week.
yeah, I'm asking for that.
Sweet.
I have rooms, so not in my home, but I have a room for classes, so it's big enough
Yeah.
for 20 or 30 people.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. And what a
Thank you so
beautiful
much.
way. You're so welcome. Here in Rome, there was a beautiful lady from Japan. She's becoming a right voice for you facilitator. Is it Sakiko or? But she came up to me today. She said, Sylvia, I was in your 9Trannies series. And I'm like, oh, wow. Because I don't always remember the names or the faces of everyone. But she was so happy. She was so, so happy. And here she is becoming a right voice for you facilitator. So if you guys do see me in a live class, come say hello. I'm honored and grateful. And thank you for continuing to be in the question. Oh, Marieki, who is next to you? Oh. Hello.
This is my son, ready to go to
Hello.
bed.
Well, sweet dreams. Nice to see you. So thank you all for a beautiful call. And I did not know where we would go, but I am so grateful we went where we went and what else is truly possible. Grateful for all of you. And let's have way more fun and keep asking, how can we use everything we be and we know to our advantage? And your home play, ask. If you could have anything. You could ask for anything and not be attached of how it shows up and when it shows up. Celebrate that you get to ask. So thank you. See you all. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you all. Bye.